Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a book that is considered a classic in horror literature. I'm talking about Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. I already read other books by this author. I read The Boys from Brazil and The Stepford Wives. They both have movies adaptation, and you probably know the one with Nicole Kidman. The Stepford Wives is from 2004 if I'm not wrong. And this one is the most famous book by this author. It has also a sequel called The Son of Rosemary that came 30 years after the publishing of this book. So this one is from 1967 and The Son of Rosemary is from 1997. So what this book talks about? Basically, a couple named the Woodhouse, Rosemary and Guy. So Guy is an actor, but he's not very successful, even if he's trying very hard. And Rosemary just gave up her job because she wants to be a mother. And given this book was written in the 60s, you can pretty much see how the role of the woman was considered at that time, and you can see how the man was seen as the one that was supposed to work while the wife should have stayed home, taking care of the kids and of the house. But it's a interesting way to see how this thing worked in the past, even if it's not like that anymore, and is a good thing. So this couple wanted to move into a new apartment, so they were looking for a long time for a beautiful place, and they had their mind focused on this apartment in a building called the Brantford, that is from the Victorian era, if I'm not wrong. And this apartment is huge and it's beautiful, and they loved it since the first time that they see it. So they make everything possible to have it. Once they have an agreement to have this apartment, they move straight away, and Rosemary has a lot of time to renovate and make this place beautiful, but at the same time she feels very alone because Guy is always working and she doesn't really have friends there. The only friend that she has is always busy and he doesn't have always time to see her. And basically, since they're in New York, their friends are from different places, so she's alone, and she doesn't really see a lot of people living in this building, so it's a bit weird. This building was famous in the past, especially at the beginning of the 20th century, for things that were related to witchcraft, dark personalities that lived in this building, and also a case of murder that involved a baby and that was found in the basement of this building. So one day, while Rosemary is doing laundry in this basement where there is the laundry, she meets this girl and they start to be friends, and she's happy that finally she met someone that she can become friend with. But just the day after that they met, this girl commits suicide. And it's a weird thing because this girl was hosted by this old couple that lives next to Rosemary and Guy, and that they never met until the night of the suicide. And when they met, this couple that are the Casavets, become really close to Guy and Rosemary. Especially Minnie, she's a bit nosy. She's always going to their house to put her nose everywhere. So she's really annoying in a way. And this old couple becomes so close with Rosemary and Guy that sometimes she feels annoyed by them, but at the same time, given she's alone, she likes the presence of someone that she can talk with. She still wants to have a baby, and is her main focus, but Guy doesn't really have the time to think about the family because he's so focused on his career that he doesn't care about anything else. But suddenly one day he decided that they can have one, and during that time something really weird happened because Rosemary have a weird dream where she sees all these people that are naked around her, and something weird is happening, and then she see this creature with yellow eyes that is on top of her, and when she wakes up she thinks that this is all a nightmare, and then after she realized that she's pregnant. So you can pretty much imagine what this book talks about. It's really famous. Everyone knows what this book talks about, so it's not really a spoiler what I'm saying. And also the cover says it from itself. Guy was gaslighting Rosemary, making her think that she's crazy because as soon as she got pregnant, she feels really sick, and he doesn't really seem to care about her and the fact that she's feeling so ill, and she's worried about her pregnancy. And you think he's kind of an asshole. But who I think is the worst character in this book is Dr. Hill, because after she asks him help, instead of helping her, he sends her back to Guy. And that's a bad decision, given what happens. But yeah, also Guy is the bad guy. And I made it right. The story is very interesting. I loved how Ira Levin took probably inspiration from what happened during that time, because the Church of Satan was founded by Anton Szandor LaVey in 1966. So it was just a year before that this book was published. This book is also set in that year, so it makes sense for the numbers. I understand why he took inspiration from this story and put it in this book, and I think he made a great thing. This author is amazing. I love this so much. He's one of my favorite authors. The story of this book is exactly the same of the one that you probably saw in the movie adaptation by Roman Polanski, because there are two adaptations from this book. The first one is from 1968 by Roman Polanski, and the second one is from 2014. I don't remember who did it. I think it's NBC. I'm not sure. That one didn't really get stuck with me. I didn't enjoy it as much as the Polanski version. Even if Roman Polanski is involved in scandals about what happened with him, and I don't want to talk about that, but the movie is really, really good, and it's very, very close to this book, because sometimes also the dialogue are taken from the book itself. It didn't change them, so it left them as they are in the book, and that's really good. The weird thing about Polanski, not what happened later, but what happened after he shot this movie, is that his own wife, Sharon Tate, that he worked with in other movies, just 1 year after the shooting of the movie Rosemary's Baby, was brutally murdered by the Manson family. And the disturbing coincidence is that there is a cult and a pregnant lady involved in that story, in that murder story, and there is a cult and a pregnant lady in this book as well. And if you want to know more about what happened with the Charles Manson murders, you can watch the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino from 2019. That talks about this story. So this is all I can tell you about this book. This is really good. I highly recommend you to read this one. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. There are more reviews coming, and I will see you in the next one.